What's going on, guys? Here, Chewy and Oscar doing seat time again. We have a very special guest, our good friend Rich with Richtuned. So we're gonna be talking about race wars today. We're gonna be talking about kind of what you do here. Look at this background. When was the last time you went to a shop and they were fully stocked with stuff, right? So that's the first thing we said. Hey, we walked in here and we're like, man, it's been a long time when we haven't seen a shop that is stocked with a lot of racing parts. So it's very refreshing to come over and see one of these ones in a long time, because I mean, we've been to a couple of ones that have it, but for the most part it's either a performance shop or a store. But here you have both of them, so it's very, very refreshing to come and see this.
Feels really nice.
Yeah, we try to always have parts in stock, usually more too. But right now we're kind of limited because everything's on back order.
Yeah, it's hard to get parts. So if you need parts, then we know who has a few to spare around here.
Yeah,
so
we got a few.
All right, so we'll get it started. What we're going to be doing today, we'll talk about race wars. We do have one more race wars coming up here in September. We're also going to be talking to Rich and his business, kind of what you've been up to, what do you do, and then after that we'll wrap it up. But those are the two main things we're going to be talking about.
So race wars September 26th. Thanks for everybody tuning in, watching the show. Make sure to share, invite everybody to come watch the video. Race Wars September 26th. Usually the doors open at 8 in the morning, racing 10 all the way to 4 or 5 p.m. We got a lot of racing. We are going to be having a car show as well that day, not just racing. We got a little bit of everything. So, it's probably going to be the last race of the year, I'm pretty sure. So make sure to be there. Don't miss it. There's a lot of cool cars coming down. A lot of new cars that I've seen, a lot of new builds that didn't get to make it the last time. They're going to be going this time. So,
What day's the car show?
Car show, so we're going to have it the same day as the racing.
So racing both days, car show one day, or car show both days?
So the way this weekend's going to work for everybody out there. So Saturday we're going to have a car show, cars, no trucks. Car show and racing.
Nice.
And on Sunday we're going to have a truck show, which is called Truck Wars, and racing as well.
Okay.
So everybody's welcome.
Nice.
So
everyone likes burnouts.
If you want to come over for the weekend and you want to be your car and you want to be in both, there will be. I mean, we'll take you guys in, but we want to specialize a little more, because with what's going on with COVID and stuff like that. I mean, how many car shows have you guys been to? I mean, there's very limited. I mean, we were just talking about
that was the only one that
they've been canceled. So what we're gonna do on Saturday, we're gonna be more focused to the car scene, kind of imports and domestics and just cars itself. And then that's what we're going to do. And then on the Sunday car show or truck show, we're going to be more focused on cars.
The trophies
SUVs.
will be more ready for trucks.
Yeah, so there's going to be two different scenes going on right now, and they're very strong, so we want to cater to both of them. Unfortunately, we'd like to do an event just for that scene, but right now it'll be with limited time and limited weekends. So that's what we're doing. So Saturday is going to be mainly cars. Sunday is going to be mainly trucks and SUVs.
But if you come down both days, we're not turn nobody away. So you can come down and race both days and stuff.
I don't know if you saw, but last one we have quite a few lowriders showed up.
There was a lot.
Yeah, so we had a few bikes showed up.
There must have been at least 300 in that show.
Yeah, it was over 300
cars.
Yep, it was over 300.
It was a pretty good show. And then you had everything. You had trucks, lowriders, imports. I mean, you had
motorcycles.
Motorcycles. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
But anyway, so we want to start with
So as you guys know Rich, you guys know him, so his cars, his really nice builds. A lot of people get tuned by Rich. Rich, how you get started in all this racing stuff? Like when was it when you said, like, you know what, I want to get into this? Since
it started off as just a hobby. So I started off at my mom's house, right? Just doing this for fun after work. So pretty much work all day, and I worked at the Sailors Lodge and Spa as a server in the restaurant. Did that for a few years, made good money, enjoyed it a lot. And cars was just a passion. And it was always Hondas. I mean, my first car was an 89 CRX.
89
and
CRX.
My brother had one.
I was stuck with Hondas after that. All I wanted to do was make my Honda go fast, right? So my second car was a CB7, 93 Accord. Third car was a 92 Integra. That's the one I decided I was going to make go fast, right? So turboed it, did all the stuff to it. And I was running an FMU and
I remember those.
MSD yep. So I had the old school. I had the missing link, or it was called a Synapse missing link for the map sensor, FMU, and what else? And the MSD BTM to control timing. They ran super good, right? So my buddy Matt, at the time, he had a Del Sol with a GSR, and I had my LS turbo, right? Mm-hmm. So he was always faster than me before I turboed mine. I turboed mine, I was faster than him. He was really mad about that. So he decided to turbo his, but he couldn't afford to buy the cool parts. He couldn't buy the MSD BTM, and he couldn't buy the Synapse missing link. So he bought like little fish filters that you put on there to make the map sensor not freak out, right? Put it all on, his car ran real shitty. So he found a guy. I don't remember who it was. It was a long time ago because this would probably been back in like 2008, maybe even older. No, maybe I don't know, a long time ago. So
long time ago.
Found this guy to tune his car on a software called Uber Data. Right? Called him, never forget. He called me and said, "Hey, I'm gonna get my car tuned on Uber Data," but he called it Uber Data, right? And he was like, "You should get your car tuned on Uber Data." I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna get my car tuned on anything called Uber Data. Right? There's no way."
Just the name itself is sketchy right there.
It's like a magic carpet or
So,
something.
yeah.
Remember that name?
So I look it up, and it's called Uber Data. It stands for the best data, and it's the first freeware ever available, right? And it sucked me in. All I could think about. I stood up every night after work and read about it, read about tuning, how to do it, what I needed, got all the shit to do it myself. And I never soldered anything before, so I bought a chip kit to put in my ECU. But I'd never used a soldering iron, so I went to Radio Shack and bought a little soldering iron kit. And I took an old stereo apart, and I practiced soldering for like 15 minutes. And I was like, okay, I think I can do this.
You're ready.
I soldered all the stuff into my ECU, I crossed my fingers, and it started. And then I started doing it. And it ran super bad at first. For weeks and months, I just played with it. You know, a little bit here, a little bit there, and it got running a little better and a little bit better until the car started running really good. And then, of course, my buddy Matt was like, "Hey, could you retune my car?" Because his car didn't run very good. So I did his car, and then my buddy Austin's car, and like 5 other friends' cars. And I was like, "Hey, I should make money doing this."
Yeah.
So I started street tuning cars after work, right? So I'd get off work, and I'd street tune a car at night. And then I was street tuning 2 cars, and then 3 cars. And I was street tuning all these cars. So I was like, I should quit my job and do this full time, right? So I started to do that, and I made good money at the lodge. I liked working there. But I was like, I'm going to do this full time because it's my passion, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I started working out of my mom's garage in Fall City. First name was IMG Performance. Stands for In Mom's Garage Performance. That's the original name. But I also call it
literal
image.
that name.
Yeah. I also call it an Image Performance because it sounded a little more professional. But the real name was In Mom's Garage. So did that for about a year until my neighbors got pissed off with all the cars going in and out.
I can imagine.
Can't have a business out of a house. It's illegal, right? So the cops showed up, said, "You can't do this anymore." I'm like, "Oh shit, now I'm out of work. I got to do something, right?" So I started looking for a job. Luckily, my buddy knew a shop in Kent called Richtuned Motorsports. Owner's name was Andre. He was a Mitsubishi guy. Now, I knew him through my machine shop. It's funny because I would bring all my work to this machine shop, and he would tell me about this other guy who did all his work at the machine shop, and he did Mitsubishis. I did Hondas. So we would have like a battle without knowing each other through the machinist, right? So I would tell him, "Oh, my Honda's going to make this much power." And he goes, "Oh, your Honda sucks. My Mitsubishi's going to make this much power." It went on for a year, right? So after I couldn't work at the house anymore, I went to that machine shop and asked them for a job. And he said, "You don't want to work here. You're going to be cleaning motors and doing crap you want to do. You should go talk to Andre, the guy I was telling you about at that performance shop." Okay, so I go down there, talk to Andre. I get there, because he called him and told him I was going to come down and check the shop out. I get there, he shows me his whole shop, like through the whole thing, did all the stuff, hires me the next day, right? Great deal. I got to tune my own cars there, so I brought in my own business. I worked on Hondas. I got one bay, I dyno tuned, and all my work at his shop. And I pretty much paid him 50% of what I made, right? So I had no overhead. I had no anything. I just made money. Ended up being a good deal, right? Worked there for about a year. And then my other friend at the time, his name was Tino, and he had a shop called Custom Imports in Olympia, right? And he was going to close his shop down. So I thought it would be a good idea to leave Pina and go become part owner of Tino's shop so I could have my own business. Right? So I left Andre, which I really liked, and I went to Custom Imports. Well, it didn't work out very well because nobody wanted to go there. It was all the way past Olympia and Tumwater, and it just didn't work out. Right? So I left there after 6 months. He ended up closing down. And then I went to Fluid Motorsports. It was a shop in Tacoma called, Corey owned it at the time, right? So I worked there as the tuner and fabricator and stuff like that. Worked there for about 2 years, right? So that would be back in 2009, I think. And then me and Corey had a big falling out, which I don't really want to get into. But I left there, and I decided I didn't want to work on cars anymore. I was kind of sick of cars. So I took a year off, right? So I sat at home, and I sold chipped ECUs on eBay for a year.
I remember that.
I made enough money selling ECUs on eBay, right? I was selling so many that I made enough money to open the business.
Wow.
Just off selling
It was
ECUs
a good business. I remember
eBay.
you going to eBay and be like, you know, trying to find...
I was selling multiple ECUs a day. It was hard for me to find them. I was buying them for every junkyard around the country I could find. Even if it was more than I wanted to pay for it.
I remember
I needed
that.
ECUs to resell them because at the time I had, when I first decided to start doing the eBay thing, I had like 100 ECUs saved up. You know what I mean? Those were quick. And I was like, oh, damn, I need more. And I couldn't find any local.
Do you remember how much you used to sell them for?
$160.
$160.
I kept that price until just in the last couple of years. and I only raised it to 180 now. So it hasn't gone only $20 in the last 10 years. Is all I've raised it.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So still
You know,
same
like you were
price.
mentioning all these shops. I remember those days, you know, because that's when we were racing too and stuff with the Hondas.
Yeah.
And you know, all these shops were, you know, like here in Cannes and like Seattle, and the scene was just crazy
on the
big. I
big
mean,
scene.
you remember when Model of the Imports used to come here to Seattle? You
Oh
know?
yeah, it was huge.
It was badass. I
was
mean,
really big.
all the cars that used to bring all these big trailers and all these
California
big companies
cars.
would come.
Yep.
I mean, that
And
to-
car shows were really big
Yeah,
back then.
yeah, it was-
Early
it
2000s
was
was all about car
badass.
shows.
I mean, I remember going and seeing all these, you know,
Like
these
hot import
cars.
nights.
And you
Oh,
look
yeah.
at
Back in the
pictures
day
from
was
car
huge.
shows from back in then to then. I mean, the styles, a whole. I mean, it
Yeah, well
changed.
now it's OEM. It's like clean OEM lines, slight, lower kits on it, and lower the car. I mean, the stance thing is big for some people. It's not really my thing, but that's still really big.
Yes, it is.
I really like the clean look, lower the car a little bit, put nice wheels on it,
Yeah.
keep the OEM lines with
That
like a
looks
lip
really
kit on
nice.
it. That's my thing. You
I-
know what I mean?
I
The,
did
the
the-
flames went away, thankfully.
We did,
Yeah.
the, we did the body kit part there. I have one
Oh,
called
yeah.
body
and
tag.
the big huge hoods, right? You get the freaking the snorkel hood.
I was a Mitsubishi Eclipse with a black bumper all the way
The
around.
Blitz,
my
the
God.
Blitz one, the
Oh.
one from Fast and the Furious.
Oh,
I had one of those.
What was it? It was the Black Widow body kit. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
The Black Widow had the big hood, right? Okay, I had my CB7. It was my second car, and I wanted that body kit so bad, but I couldn't afford it. I had no money.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When I bought the car, it came with a wing.
No.
So, like every good importer out there, I upgraded and got a bigger wing. So,
Huge
I got a
wing.
So
huge
funny.
wing. Yeah. But those were the good old days.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade them for anything else.
No, it was awesome.
No, it was cool.
Yeah. So,
So, anyways, after what do you do after
So,
that?
yeah,
okay, so I took a year off, right? I sold these on eBay.
Yeah.
Then I got bored of being at home, and I was like, well, I still want to work on cars, so decided to save all my money and open a shop. So I started looking for a shop to move into. I took a loan to buy the dyno because I already had a lift, and I already had my welder, and I had tools, and I had everything else to start, but I didn't have a dyno, and I can't have a performance shop without a dyno because that's what I tune cars. So I need
Yeah,
a
that's
dyno
me
to tune
too.
cars.
Yeah.
So I got a loan to buy the dyno. I get the dyno, find a place to move. The first shop I moved to was in Auburn off C Street. It was just a big open warehouse. It had no office. It had one bay door into it. It was 4,000 square foot big open area. It was a huge area to work in, right? But it was a horrible setup because it had one 10-foot bay door in only, which means we had to set the dyno up at an angle to where we could drive a car around it, but still try to get the exhaust out of the shop, which didn't work very well because the exhaust would fill up in the shop and we breathe it all day long.
yeah.
So it was a pretty, and then it didn't have an office, so I had a desk in the corner, and there was 2 bathrooms right here. There was a male and female bathroom, and then a little staircase up to the top. So I made the top my little ECU area, right? I put the desk down here. I used one bathroom as my lock area to put parts in that no one could steal, and then the other bathroom was usable, right? So we made it work. I was there for a year, and then moved to the second shop, which was same street, a block down. So same street, same side, like 4 entrances down was the second shop. Same on C Street. Moved there in 2000. So I opened in 2011, right? So I left Fluid in 9, took a year off. About 9, 10. Yeah, and 11 moved into the first shop. In 12 moved into the second shop. Was there for 6 years. Lease expired there. The landlord didn't want to renew it because the neighbors complained about the noise of the dyno.
Couldn't imagine you making any noise over
Oh
there.
my god, it's so loud. My neighbor in the front complained every day for 6
But wake
years.
up, be like, I know what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna go complain.
So at the end, I really wanted to stay there. I live 5 minutes away from the old shop. I really liked it there. It was a little small, but usable. So this shop is 5,500 square foot. That shop was 3,500 square foot. So 2,000 square foot less. But the layout was nice because it wasn't deep, but it was long, and the way the bays went in was usable.
Yes.
And it had a really nice big upstairs. So the shop was workable. It was definitely small, but it worked. You know what I mean? So I didn't really want to move if I didn't have to because I could make it work. And the landlord wouldn't do it. I even tried like 6 months before to build an exhaust. Like I built this crazy exhaust system. I have it here. So I took 5 diesel mufflers, 6-inch diesel mufflers, and I welded them all together into this big, huge chamber system. And then I used a tube to run that from the car into the system, and it quieted down drastically. It
So
lose
just to
half
keep
the
the noise down, huh?
right? It cut it down in half. And at first, when I first put it on, the neighbor seemed okay with it for like a couple weeks. The landlord said he didn't complain at all. I'm like, awesome. Then he started complaining again.
He's like, hey, this is boring.
Yeah.
Let's get adjusted to the. Okay, now there's going
Yep.
on again.
It's too
So-
quiet on here, man. I need some noise. I need to complain.
So after my lease expired, he said he didn't want to deal with them complaining anymore. It wasn't just him; it was a couple people that complained. Right? It was loud every day, and I run the dyno every day. So he got sick of hearing about it. So had to move. Ended up finding this place, which I like a lot. At first, I didn't really want to move to Tacoma area. right? I liked Auburn, and I live right next to it, and I wanted to stay in that area, but I couldn't find anything that would take me. No one wants a dyno. No one likes automotive. So finding a place to rent an automotive shop and a dyno, it took me 7 months to find a shop to move.
Wow, it's
Yeah.
a long time.
In
yeah,
fact,
the dyno is a big one. I mean,
the noise.
yeah, it's just huge.
Yeah, like a lot of places said I had to build a dyno room to cut all the sound out completely, and that's $100,000
That can't be
expense.
cheap, yeah.
That I mean, just moving alone was almost $100,000. So I don't want to build a dyno room on top of that.
Pretty
So
expensive.
where you at now? For everybody to know.
Oh yeah,
where you
so we're on Stilican Boulevard in right off South Tacoma Way in Lakewood. So
Pretty easy to get here. You know, we took our.
at. Yeah,
to
it's,
get
it's
here
not
was
bad.
really
It's
easy to
just-
get here.
It's really close to the freeway, so
you're right at the end of 512. So
Yep.
you're in 512, you take a right and a left, and we're right there. So we're
And-
really close.
What kind of services do you offer here for people that want to know? What I mean, I'm sure you do everything, but
So
a little bit of everything.
We
Break
work
it
on
down.
mostly Hondas only. I will work on other cars here and there. Pretty much imports. I rarely work on anything American, but sometimes if I feel like it. But normally,
If it's your lucky day, you know, you show
Yeah.
up and it's your lucky day, you they'll do it.
But there's other good shops that I send people to because people call me all the time.
to
A
give
lot
him,
of people.
to give him credit, I mean, we just walked the shop out there, and it's full of cool stuff out there. I mean, you got the NSX, you got some high horsepower Civics. I mean, he has a little bit of everything out there. So when he says he only works on Hondas, I mean, they're quite a special things out there. I mean,
Yeah,
we give you credit. I mean,
We
you
do
have
work
a
on
lot of
other
cool
cars
stuff.
too, but I would say 90% Hondas only. Not that I don't want to work on other cars, but I'm so busy with Hondas that there's really not a reason to take on more. I mean, right now we have 22 cars in the shop, and there's a waiting list to get on the dyno for 3 months.
Sounds
Well,
like business.
and that was
So if you plan on tuning it,
Yeah.
better start calling, making those appointments right now. You know, give him a call.
And then the reason you're so good at it is because you specialize in them and you're good at it. If
Yeah.
you were not good at them, you wouldn't have the line you have.
Exactly.
So when you're good at them, you specialize in them. I'm sure you are faster than probably most of the competition, and
Yeah.
you do better work than most of the competition.
I know the
because
car
you-
really well.
yeah.
My guys know the car really well. I have 4 employees, and they're all good with these cars. It's all they work on, and that's why I have them here because they know what they're doing. And that makes it easier to get the cars in and out and diagnose them faster and keep the bill less because we don't have to sit there and try to figure the car out forever.
Yep.
Now, I'd like to do other cars, and eventually I probably will because it'd be nice to do something different. But at the same point, if I'm this busy with the cars I know so well, then why do something else for now?
If it works, why
Exactly.
change it?
Why
Yep.
change it?
So yeah, so somebody you do full builds,
Yep,
tuning
so
in-house. I mean,
Motor
everything.
builds, full fabrication. I do lots of welding, so we'll do full turbo kits, motor builds, dyno tuning. We'll do standard work too, so if we need standard maintenance, we do that also. Definitely not as much. We do mostly performance-related work, but if you need time belt, water pump done, you need your brakes done, anything like that, we do. We don't do oil changes. So
From Chevron or something.
yeah, only because it costs money to recycle oil, which is expensive now because they used to take it for free. Now I got to pay to get rid of it.
Yep.
And really, the amount of money that I make after an oil change isn't worth the lift because the lift is used for a car that's being worked on for a big project. I got to remove that car to put it for an oil change. It's not worth the time.
Yeah.
And when he says lift, it's not like he has 1 or 2 lifts. How many lifts do you have out there?
So we have 7 lifts.
That was my first question.
Yeah.
So, Rich, how many do you have here? Okay, the shop is full of lifts. So 7 lifts you have out there,
Yep.
and all of them are being used. So I mean, all around great news for
Exactly.
everybody.
Jordan says,
Yeah.
Rich loves building Evos.
Oh, Jordan's Evo. I love you, Jordan.
So
Yeah, Jordan's Evo was a pain in the ass.
So a question I got for you. So, you know, we've known you for a while now, but first time you ever heard about Race Wars, or your first experience at Race Wars, how you hear about it, how you get over there? Because,
Okay,
I mean, we're not
so-
pretty close. You
It's
know,
a long ways from you.
we're like 3 hours, 2
So
hours and a half.
it'd go way back. I don't remember what year it was because the first time I went to Race Wars was back when I had. Oh, which car was it? I can't remember what car I brought.
There's a
Probably
few
a Honda?
customers that used to go.
It was definitely a Honda. I don't think I went to the very first Race Wars. It had to have been like the maybe 2nd or 3rd year you guys had it.
So first one ever was 2003.
So definitely way after that.
So like, did
'Cause
you
it
start going
wouldn't-
on the last one the last airstrip we had?
Yeah, I think
wouldn't have
so.
Or you went the other one we had like on
the
top of a
canyon.
lake in the canyon.
You remember that?
Only Canyon. I never went to the one before that. I didn't even know there was one before the Canyon.
There was
No,
2 more
like,
before.
No, so
Oh no,
you
there was
went
one.
to the- to
You
the-
went to the canyon.
So wait, well,
No.
what's the last one?
The last one is
At-
next
at
to
Royal
the
City.
Mint on the
Royal
flat
City.
ground. Yeah.
Flag on Royal City.
Yeah.
Only one I've ever been to.
So
okay, so before that there was 2 more.
Yep.
So okay, it was way back. So I didn't go until
So
after.
probably 2011.
I think you went to the last one we had.
So I didn't go until after I opened the shop. I opened the shop in 2011,
So,
and I don't
okay.
think I went until 2012.
Okay, so that was
So
on the
2012 is when I went. So
Yeah.
10 years after you got started almost.
We had an
Yeah.
airstrip right by
No.
the canyon. It was a little scary.
Oh,
It was
I bet.
sketchy.
You were racing and then you look from up there, you see like a canyon, like a cliff, and there'll be like water.
Oh,
and
my.
Everybody's like, They don't vote it
Even
like
the
they
end
don't
of
work.
Royal City had that drop off that people go off every year.
Yeah, it was a classic.
I don't know if they did it on purpose or not, but every single race we had, somebody wouldn't.
Okay, so
stop
Jordan,
them.
the guy who just talked about his Evo,
Yeah.
he has the red
Red
Integra,
Integra,
yeah,
yeah.
the car we sponsor, super nice car, and
Really nice.
he was racing I think it was a Mustang, right, brand new Mustang,
Yeah.
and Jordan annihilated him because his car's fast.
Yeah.
And he's
And
still
so we
coming
started,
back.
but the Mustang, I think, wanted to try to catch him. So Jordan's slowing down, and the Mustang kept going until it was out of time, and he flew 25 feet
Yep.
off that thing
Yep.
and destroyed his brand new car.
Yep.
It was tacoed.
Yep.
It was
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
I wonder, we never had a camera back there. We should have, because every year, every race, there was somebody flying out.
It wasn't that there wasn't no space. It's just people didn't want to let off.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they wanted
there
to
was a lot
win.
of space to stop.
For any
Yeah.
legal purposes, nothing ever happened in Roll City. It was well-controlled environment, just an FYI.
Yeah,
Remember
Royal
that-
City was awesome.
The Porsche,
I miss Royal City.
the
It was
Porsche
fun.
with that girl.
Yeah.
Too. They told her to race. There's this girl racing. They let her borrow a Porsche with a boyfriend.
Did she
or whatever.
crash it?
Oh yeah.
Well, they told her, hey, just floor it, but
She
they didn't never tell her to stop.
never told
So
her
just
to
keep
stop.
going. She finished the race. She kept going. Slice over.
When she went over the bump, over the cliff,
Yeah.
she never hit the brakes. She just kept on going.
They just told her floor it. How do you race? Just
Oh
floor
my
it.
god, she must have went like 50 feet.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, we've seen quite a few things out there. I mean, definitely fun for sure.
Yeah, Royal
We,
City.
I
was fun.
remember seeing this, when you guys started going, a bunch of cars say Richtuned and all
Yeah,
that.
because
and
we all
those
came down
people-
as a group the first
Yeah,
time.
it was pretty cool. It was
So that would
fun.
have been 2011 or 12. I think it was more. I don't think the first year I opened I went because the first year was all about business, not my car at all.
Yeah, yeah.
So I didn't actually build myself a car till 2012.
Yeah, well, when we started, it was really mellow for us. It was a lot of local stuff, but as work got around it, we started getting all these
And then
hitters.
social media came around. That's when really, because when we started advertising with flyers. We used to go
And that's why I
to
never saw it.
every town. We wouldn't come this way.
Out of
Yeah.
park,
He will print out
Napa.
like 150
We used
flyers.
to
He
go to
like,
every Napa.
we got
every
one
$1
store.
everywhere.
we got Wenatchee, Quincy. He like,
Yeah.
I got Tri-Cities in Yakima, so we
Just put out
put
flyers.
yeah.
That's how we did.
Yeah, so we didn't even hear about any of that until I think a customer said they were going to this race event out in Royal City. So we didn't know what to expect. We thought it was going to be huge, right? We thought it was a real racetrack. So we went there the night before to go
Yeah, like,
check
what-
it out.
what's the
And
track?
we're driving around looking at our phones trying to find it, right? And I'm like, I'm in a field. And so we're driving. It was dark, so we couldn't see it, right? And we're driving around. Somehow it took us to like instead of you take a right, you come down the hill, you take a right to Royal City,
little
right?
office.
It took us left,
Yeah,
right there,
it
and
always
into
do
this-
that. It would
It goes
always
to
do
this
that.
big, huge, like open. I don't remember what it was. Some irrigation, something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're driving around this company, like, where the fuck's a racetrack? Yeah.
We
so,
used to get so many calls like that. Like, where are you guys at? We can't find you guys. Yeah.
oh my god.
For anybody that got to experience that, those are really good memories they made out there.
Yeah.
You go for the weekend, you camp out there. It was race wars.
And it got huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it got
There
really.
were so many people there.
There was, especially on the first and last race,
Mhm.
almost guaranteed in the last 4 years, I will have to shut it down. I mean, physically.
Yeah.
Cars will keep coming. We had an orange fence.
They'll shut down traffic.
And I just drag it down in front of it, and I just said people keep moving,
was
keep
crazy.
moving.
There's too many people.
And then at
Yeah.
that point, they'll start parking on the fields and just walk. I mean, there will be people walking from across the other side of the road because everything was
Yeah,
packed.
it's
So they
crazy.
just kept on walking and walking. I couldn't do nothing about them. But as
Yeah.
far as cars, I mean, we physically just couldn't fit them in.
There wasn't any more room.
Yeah, it was packed.
I mean, it was crazy packed. You couldn't even drive through it.
Yeah.
It got so packed because there's so many people in the
It was
front.
crazy.
And you had to drive through like the front area to get through. And there'd be so many people and cars that you just get stuck in the middle of them.
I remember trying to park cars, and it's just crazy.
Yeah,
It was
Omar
fun.
gave up on me a few times. Like, what?
It's like,
They don't listen. And
can't
he'll walk
control
out
it,
on me.
you
I'm
can't
like,
do
"God
anything."
damn, Omar."
people just, where do you park? Wherever you find a spot.
Anywhere, right?
Yeah, it was definitely good experience for sure. And then we want to thank Rich here. He's been a big supporter of Race Wars in the last few years. He's been
Yeah.
supporting us, and
I think
thanks
I'm
to
sponsored
him.
now 4-5 years now.
Yeah, and thanks to him, we can make this event happen. Because there's a lot of cost on these races to put something together, trophies. There's just so many things you don't even have an idea. But we want to thank him, for always being a big supporter of this event, and always bringing up a lot about us cars to the event too. A lot of
We
his
don't have
customers,
tons
everything.
of sponsors. We have a small amount of sponsors, but we're loyal to them just like they are to us, and we really appreciate that. So we try to, when we bring sponsors, trying to be, they don't compete with each other, because you see a lot of events where they have 50 sponsors, all of them do the same thing.
Of course.
We try not to do that. I don't know if you have noticed that, but even we have a car dealer that is a big sponsor of us,
Prestige.
Prestige, and
Mhm.
we don't bring any more dealers. And because there's a
Dealerships.
reason.
Because they sell cars, so
Yeah, same thing with
It's good.
so
Yeah.
same thing with the shops. If you're a performer, especially if you're an import, then we wouldn't want other people to compete with you guys. So that's the background why you only see. I mean, people have asked us, "Hey, how come you only have?" Same thing when we had a tire shop, and there, 4 of the 5 will call us. I said, hey,
Good,
we want to do well and we want to stand by our sponsors.
detail
and-
shops and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, same thing with
But yeah, we
details.
want to thank all our sponsors, for making this possible, and get ready for the last races for the year, September 26 and 27 at Renegade Raceway. Shout out to Derek out there, for giving us the chance this year to host events right there.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's been fun, and
really fun.
we really want to thank them, the crew and everybody out there, really good crew.
And it's been the only
excited.
events, really, because everything else has been canceled.
Yeah.
The only thing else we've had is Northwest Nights event. We had one of those. There's another one in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mookie and
Yeah.
David out there. We'll see you guys out there in 2
They're
weeks
the
in
only
Bremerton.
ones. Yeah, that'll be
Don't
fun. You
miss
guys,
out. It's gonna
yeah,
be
you guys
fun.
come out. It'll be a lot of fun. So they got another event coming up in 2 weeks, and then your guys' event's coming up
Yep.
on the 28th,
26, 27.
26th,
3
27th.
weeks after that.
Yeah.
Just
And
Enough
then-
time to get ready.
Are you calling
Send
out,
some-
David?
What? On what? On the Trans Am?
Yeah.
Maybe you are.
No, there's no other local events at all. Every other
David,
local event got
you've been called out by the Trans Am, so
Oscar's
from a
also showing
dig,
you out.
From a dig, it has to be.
it has to be from a
Yeah,
day.
no rolls on that one.
Yeah, no rolls on that.
Which car?
That's what they say. They're going to probably be doing rolls too.
The-
Trans Am.
Oh, nice.
Actually, it wouldn't be bad on rolls.
I think it should be okay.
Yeah, let's go. Let's start slow on it. We haven't raised it. That we have had the car for.
We gotta make sure it
years,
runs.
and it's been parked for what? 2 years? 3 years?
3 years.
3 years. And
So you
it's
haven't
fu-
started it in 3 years?
Yeah.
Oh, it's ready to go. Put some race gas in it.
Yeah.
Well, transmission was the issue, but the transmission
Yeah,
is back
it's
in
back
it.
together. Yeah. So,
So-
we're getting all ready out there. So which hopefully should be done by.
Yeah, we're working on that.
That's the
as we
plan.
speak, so.
Weren't you building the Honda too?
We had one at one point.
Yeah.
Not anymore right now. I mean, we do want one, but it's just
COVID-19 has not been friendly to the to the car to our shows, anyways.
Our funds.
So yeah, it's been tough.
No, everything's canceled.
But,
this
you know,
whole year is.
yeah. You come here but to me, I mean. Same thing. I started with Hondas,
Yeah.
Same thing, and I always the funnest car I had was my Civic that has like 500 horsepower, my turbo Civic. Man, it was like the funnest car
They're
ever.
so much fun.
We drove it the first time. Me and him drove our Civics to the track from Royal City to Kent, run 10s, drove back.
That was the first
Nice.
time I've ever
It
ran
was
on
probably
a
some of the
track,
first cars that run
Not-
10s in that side, on that area.
Yeah.
Not many cars that run 10s yet.
and it was
So
on
we
no
were some of the
gas,
first
I mean,
ones.
there's still not that many cars that run 10.
and we drove them
Yeah.
here.
You
in
can
No,
drive,
it's
you
not.
can drive back and forth.
And this was what
Exactly.
2007, maybe?
2008,
2008?
I think. 2008,
Yeah.
2009, and like the first hit I did was a 10.9.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's crazy.
Like I didn't even know what a 10-second car felt like.
Right?
Well, it's actually the first time going to the track too. To that
No,
track.
I had ran 11.9 at Renegade,
Yeah,
but like
on the track over
that
here.
track
like,
and-
for
But
full
yeah,
track,
second faster on a good track. Yeah.
it was a whole different thing when you actually.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
But fun for sure. We do miss him, but we'll be having one here pretty soon. I'm pretty sure someday. Not too far away in the future. Not too far away.
Yeah, we talked many times about it. He's like, I want to get a hatchback. I'm like, I might get an
No. I think this time I would like an EM1 or something like. Kind of like
All-wheel
Rich's
drive.
cars.
I would
Yeah,
drive
that's really
those
nice.
are nice. You
Yeah,
should.
I like them. I like those.
Have you done any all-wheel drive stuff?
Yeah, we've done a few all-wheel drive conversions. We just finished the Del Sol. We did a right-hand drive Del Sol, built B Series turbo car, made 520 horsepower, and then helped Josh with his all-wheel drive car a little bit. And I'm building my car. I'm going to change to all-wheel drive this winter, so it's going to be all-wheel drive soon.
EM1.
Yeah, the M1's going to be
Really?
all-wheel drive. Yeah,
Damn.
I already have almost all the parts to do it.
Is it pretty crazy to do the whole conversion, or
No,
is it
it's
getting
actually-
easier now?
It's really easy. I mean, there's pretty much bolt-in trailing arm kits you can buy, and then you use pretty much all the wagon parts, so wagon driveline and wagon diff. The problem is the wagon parts are hard to find.
You gotta remember, he says really easy, but that's what he does for a living.
Yes,
and when we're talking about Hondas,
Yeah, so
he
it's not
knows
that
Hondas
easy.
in and out.
Yeah.
Well,
I know.
I
I might see
mean,
something.
you have to
Everybody's
build-
gonna start doing. Oh, let's
I'm
go
gonna
with
go, let's
drive.
go home and build one.
Yeah, okay, it's not that easy.
So
Because
it's not
really,
that easy. Just
It's
for
not
him.
that easy.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have to put a fuel cell in the trunk and do all the fuel lines and that. You have to do there's a lot of bolt-in parts now. It makes it easier.
Yeah,
So you can buy a
because-
bolt-in kit that bolts the rear diff in the back, right? DSS makes axles for the back that goes in. A couple companies make really nice trailing arm kits that bolt right on. So all that bolts in there. So it takes care of the main stuff. You have to build something to hold the viscous coupler in. You have to shorten the driveline. And then do all those parts to make it work with each other.
It's
So-
crazy how those things started. The first one I ever saw personally, it was the one Berto they're from Reno, no?
I think.
Yeah,
From LSR, from Light Speed
blue
Racing.
one?
That's the first one I ever saw. The all-wheel drive Honda. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, and
Right.
then I started seeing more and more and more and more.
But it's only big in the last year.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
last
That's
year,
when
it's
he
gotten
finally
big.
He was like one of the guys
Yeah.
that started building when there was nothing. They started making their own.
So
Yeah,
with
because
that-
there's been a few people that have done it in the past, but
Yeah.
this never got to work right. Never
Yes.
got it to go fast, and
So-
that's what changed.
what kind of power are you putting on this car?
So my black car, So it burns out the
Wait.
dyno.
You
Which-
said my
which
black car
car?
because you have like 5 black cars.
Yeah, if you
Yeah, I
guys
got
haven't
you.
noticed, black cars are his
I
face.
like, you know what's funny
3 in the
is
sex and the.
okay. You know what's really funny about that is my second car. It was a '92 CB7. It was black. I said I'd never buy a black car again in my life because it shows every imperfection. It's swirl marks. You
But when
freaking
it's clean, it's beautiful.
wash it and then it's dirty in 5 minutes, right? I said I'd never buy a black car again. I've owned like 40 black cars since then.
Yeah, we can tell.
Right now I have the 3 black NSXs,
Yep.
1 black EM1. We had a black MDX, but we gave that to Katie's dad, so that's not ours anymore, but still in the family. And then
Still counts.
what other black cars do I have right now? Oh, the black truck. My Dodge is black.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's out there. The Dodge is black too.
Do you know black trailer?
No, it's white. But it's funny. I'd rather have it black. So it looks really nice when it's clean.
So what kind of power are you putting out of your Honda?
Okay,
Somebody
the
asked
EM1.
Rich how many wagons he has.
How many what?
Wagons?
When?
I have 6 wagons right
The
now.
hell? I don't know about that.
I
So
didn't know
what
that.
I was telling you about the drive lines, right? They're hard
So
to find.
are you still now you're hoarding the wagons
Yes.
for the all-wheel drives? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
except I buy them. I buy everyone I can find.
You know what?
They're
I
hard to
did.
find.
I
I
see
think
one right there.
last
There's
race
one
where,
there, one right there.
last race where you were getting one or picking one up or something. I can't remember. It wasn't too long ago that I remember.
Not
hearing
Race
you.
Wars, but I think I found one a few weeks before that.
Or something. I know we're talking about wagons and
Yeah,
So
I see one now.
Yeah, and I have multiple more. And the reason why I buy them is because the drive lines are worth so much money. Now I need them because I want to do all-wheel drive conversions, and you can sell them and profit off of them because the drive lines are worth that time. But I really keep them. I haven't sold any yet. Actually, Speed Factory needed one for their car, so I did sell one driveline kit to Speed Factory. That's the only one I've sold, except for the customer who got the Del Sol for. He bought one. And then the cars that want me to do all-wheel drive conversions, I'm selling to those. I'd rather sell them to cars I can build than just sell them to people online.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
They come here, business
Your
stays here.
business.
Yeah, because then I get to do the install and do the whole thing, and that's what I'm really buying them
Yeah.
so we can do all-wheel drive conversions, which is the plan. But yeah, I buy anyone I can find.
So going back to how much power you put into this car?
All right, so the car burns out in the dyno, so I don't know. At 60 pounds of boost, it
60
logs
60
about
pounds of boost?
60 is the most it's seen so far. I think I'm gonna turn it up a little more. So when I ran my last pass, which was a 930, it was only at 48 pounds. It's seen 60, and it's a 62.7. It's only 62 mil turbo because I made the car to run FIS. So it's a 62 mil turbo and full interior, and it's heavy. With me in it, it's 2680. So kind of heavy for a race car.
For a Honda.
Yep. Considering other cars could be lighter than that, but 24, and I took out a couple 100 pounds out of it. When I started, I ended up taking almost 250 pounds out of the car to get it down to that. So it was much heavier when I started. So right now it's a little heavier.
So if you do,
900 on the dyno is the most it's made. with
if you do
spinning.
that conversion on it, I mean, how much can all those wheel drive? How much power can those wheel drive?
So the factory rear or driveline is extremely strong. And all the 7-second cars are using factory Honda viscous couplers with upgraded fluids, and you can rebuild them and make them a little stronger. Factory 1988 rear ends. You can put an aftermarket LSD in it. So Speed Factory made a conversion to put a factory front wheel drive diff into the rear end of the all-wheel drive, bolts right in. And DSS makes axles for it. So all these 7-second 4-wheel drive cars are using 1988 drive lines.
That's crazy.
And they take all of it. Now it's only putting about 30% to the rear. Now you can change the fluids in this viscous couplers to change how much power you want. Do you want 15%, 20%, 30%? Is all by the fluid that's inside of it. So you can have different viscouses and try different setups depending on how much power you want to transfer, right? But a front wheel drive car is much faster on the top end than an all wheel drive car.
Yeah.
So if you transfer less to the rear, it's going to be faster on the top end, but it's going to be faster on the short track with all wheel drive. So how much do you? I don't know yet because I haven't tried this yet.
How much do you want to?
How much do you
It'll
want?
be fun, learning experience.
Exactly.
Yep.
Now I also am going to change the setup and not run FIS in it if I'm going to make it all-wheel drive. So I have a 72 mil turbo in here, and I have a forward-facing manifold and all the parts to go SFWD, which was the plan for the car. When I got the car back, because I sold the car, right, and I bought the car back, right, and it was already set up for FIS. So I just upgraded the turbo and left the turbo kit pretty much the same as I built it originally, which because I built it as a street car. You know, originally the car was a full street car. It was a fun street car. It made 550 horsepower.
I remember when it was
It was
full street car.
super fun to drive. I went out and had some fun on the streets. If you know what I mean? All
Around
the
that
time.
power, you know, you go out there, you have fun, you can still
was-
drive it. I mean, it's
Boost
just,
by gear, 500 horsepower on the street was a blast.
Yeah.
I got it to hook really good and had lots of fun with it. So I went to the track. This is Woodburn a long time ago, probably back in 13 maybe, like right after I put it together, and did one pass and they kicked me out because it ran a 10.9.8 with full interior, sub in the back, full street car, loaded EM1, like a 2,800 pound car, right? And around a 10.9, they told me I can't go that fast anymore. I'm like, oh, well, I'll make it into a race car. So I caged it, built it, turned the power up, made like 850 on I had a 6.7, 6.5 older turbo,
I remember
right?
those.
No. And went to go run it after I got the car all done, tuned it, ready to go, went to the track, went to go do one nasty burnout, dropped a valve, trashed the motor, right? Didn't even get to run it. After all that, I spent 10 grand caging it and doing safety stuff and all the crap to, make it legal for racing.
Yeah,
It's expensive, just a cage,
Yeah,
$3,500, and then you got to get seats and seat belts and parachute and all the crap to go along with it. So I was really mad about it, right? That it broke after I didn't even get to run it. And so I was so mad that my buddy Omar was there when I was mad about it and asked if he wanted to sell it, right? I'm like, yeah, I'll sell it. I don't want it. So I sold it to him, right? So I ended up taking my motor out, putting his motor in the car because he got a blue EM1. He used to come racing with us at Raceforce.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even remember the car. It was really nice, right? Omar Angel. So put his motor in my car with my turbo kit, right? And I sold the car. And it was gone for a few years. And by chance, I ended up getting it back, right? So
How'd that happen?
So he traded the car to another guy, right? For a Subaru. It was Cody Castor. He worked at Speed Factory. So he traded my race car to Cody. And he didn't even drive. He drove it like 10 times. He just started it and let it idle and drove it a few times, doing another track once. And, it was fast, so he just didn't drive it very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so it just sat for years, like 4 years. It just sat there in the garage and got started every once in a while. And so Cody had a built Subaru, right? Mm-hmm. So he ended up trading my race car for the Subaru. And then Cody got it and called me the day he got it and said, hey, you want to buy your car back? I said, hell yeah, I want to buy my car back. And so I ended up buying it back from Cody. So I got the car back and then changed everything on it. Pulled it out, new motor.
When we
I
have.
think we even wanted to buy it. We even talked about buying your car.
Oh, because it was when Cody put it up. Did he put it for sale? I don't
Somebody
know.
had it for sale. I think me and you talked about
So maybe Cody did put it for sale. I don't know. He called me.
He had it then we had Raceforce in Spokane. Cody took it to Spokane. I remember this.
Oh, okay.
It was that one.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's what happened. Yeah.
I remember. Well, I remember seeing it there. I think.
That's funny.
I don't know, man. So many memories, so many cars, so
Right.
many race
So
cars.
many years.
So many events.
So
yeah.
many years.
And they're like, trying to put stuff together. I'll probably be thinking about it the whole way home now. Be like trying to put pieces together. But that's crazy how you got it back, and now it's here again. Now it's gonna go all-wheel drive, man. I'm excited for that.
I'm hoping I can get an 8-second quarter mile out of the 62 mil turbo. It's not a lot of people have done it. So it's a 6270, so it's a special 62, right? You can't go bigger than 62 in the FIS class because it's supposed to be a street car class. So that means you have to have full interior. So it has to have panels and carpets and 2 seats and everything in it, which I put back in, which was a pain to fit around the cage. So right now it has all the interior in it. Every panel's in it. It looks nice, and only 62 mil turbo. Now they made a special 6270 with a really big exhaust housing, so it makes good power. Now I'm guesstimating about 950 because the most it's ever showed on the dyno is about 900 spinning.
Yeah.
So.
And you were just recently at the track. Was it like last week, couple weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And I still was dialing it in, having some issues, and I ran a 930 at 163. So mile an hour was really good. Short track sucked. A lot of that was me driving and then shifting. And took the strain gauge. I had problems with my strain gauge. So it didn't work once, and it trashed the dog in the transmission, which was expensive, right? And that was at Raceforce.
Yes.
A lot of that, I think, was also because it was burning out so much that...
Yeah, because there was no traction.
Yeah, I didn't have it wasn't slow enough for it to engage properly. Anyway, so I checked my logs, and my strain gauge didn't disable the power when I shipped it, right? And if it does that, it's going to wreck the dog every time. So I decided to go back to full throttle shift, which slows the car down, because now I have to push the clutch in when I shift, right? Well, when I ran that pass, I let off the gas, too. The idea of full throttle shift, keep it floored, push the clutch in, shift gears, right? Well, by habit, I let the gas off. So I ran that pass, shifting really slow, and I let the gas off, and it should have been faster.
I say it's got an 8.
Maybe. I mean, it was a 936, right? And 3.36 of a second doesn't sound like much, but at that level, it's huge.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
So that's gigantic.
To get numbers down about that.
So going from a 9.3 to a 8.999 is not an easy task.
No.
Especially on a 60, because not a lot of people have made a 62 mil car go 8s. There's only a few people have done it, so it's not an easy task at all. Now, that last pass was only on 48 pounds of boost, and I didn't shift right, and I didn't launch right. My 60 foot wasn't that great. My best is a 1.495. That was like a 1.57, right? So right there is a good jump if I can just get my 60 foot back down.
Oh, yeah.
Surprisingly, I ran my best 60 foot at Renegade. 1.495 60 foot at Renegade.
Renegade. That's mine
which
too.
is weird, right?
My best 64 was been a Renegade as well.
Yeah,
Those
which
were
is
mine.
kind of odd that the car just burns out the entire track, but my 60 foot's so good.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
I know, right? So hopefully, turn up 65 pounds and see if it can get an 8 out of it. It might not. Either way, it'll be fun. My plan was just to run it this year as FIS, so then next year I can switch it to the big turbo and make the turbo much faster, right?
This year got canceled.
But I didn't get any events to go to. We haven't had one full event to get anything this year, which
Yeah,
sucks.
it's been hard.
Yeah, so we're going to Idaho on the 20th of next month. So IFO in Idaho is the only one there is. If you guys want to go have some fun racing, we got a bunch of people going to Idaho. So
Firebird
should be fun.
Raceway.
Yep, Firebird Raceway on 9/20. It's an 8-hour drive away from here, so it's a drive.
It's a
Yeah,
mission.
just a little drive.
Yeah, it's a mission.
For us, it's like 5 hours, man. I was like, oh, 5
I'm going to bring the
hours.
NSX too, so I'm bringing both cars. I'm putting the NSX to the car show and bring the Civic to race.
When's
So-
what's the date again? September
20th.
September 20th.
It's Sunday.
So
So
it's a
we're
week-
leaving
so we can-
Saturday morning.
Sure, on the way by, might as well stop for Race Wars, you know? It's going to be the week after, the 26th.
Drop
When you
all
come
the
back,
cars?
just drop off the cars there and then come
Yeah,
back.
that'd be cool to leave them there, but I don't think I would.
At somebody's house.
Yep.
We'll park on my driveway.
There you go.
Keep him there.
So I'm going to bring both cars, the NSX and the race cars. So NSX the car show and Civic Racing. Hopefully bring home a couple trophies.
Which is a great segment for the NSX. I mean, when I think about reaching up, I'll think about your NSX.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
You don't see many. I mean, you'd see. I mean, no offense to your Honda, your Civic,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of Civics. NSX, there's not that many.
No, and very few.
Especially like
Modified
that.
at that level.
Yeah, there's not many people who make NSXs fast. The car was never designed to go fast. It should be going around a racetrack, around corners. What it's made for. It actually is a really good car to make go fast. It's just very expensive to do it, and the driveline is not made for it. And there's very minimal support for the car because there's such a. I mean, they made 8,000 of them from '91 to 2005. It's a long run to only make 8,000 cars.
Yeah,
Yes.
very
Right?
limited.
So and a lot of those are gone now because they've been crashed or whatever. So let's say that there was 7,000 left. Out of those 7,000, very few people want to go fast in them. Most people want to make them look nice and let them sit in the garage and not do anything with them. That's most NSX owners. Not a bad thing. I mean, it's a cool car and it's collectible, so it makes sense why you want
Yours
to keep
looks
it
really
pristine.
nice and it goes fast.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted. I
And
wanted
even
a
the
car.
motor, you know, that's all bling bling and everything. You said you were getting a few things done to it. Last
Yeah.
time you showed me, I mean, it looks so nice, and you said you're getting more things done to it.
I'm just
now.
getting everything polished in it.
So
So
it's gonna give you more bling bling. You
Yeah.
have to use some sunglasses when you get close to that motor.
probably gonna have to. The intake manifold, which is huge. You see how big it was. It
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
it has like a 9-liter intake manifold on it.
It's a huge burrito on the back.
It is big. You can see it through the rear mirror. It's so big. I'm getting it all polished, and the alternator is relocated to the top, so we had to do a lot of custom work to get that intake manifold to fit in there. Derek is the one who welded it together at All In Fab. He's really good. I had designed it and had my buddy CNC the plenum floors and do all like the design work of it. I worked with them to do that. I'm not as good of a welder as Derek, so I had him form everything and put it together. It's the only thing that I didn't build on the car is the intake manifold. I designed it and had it CNC'd and had it built like I wanted. But it's the only part of the car that I didn't actually build myself, just because I cannot do the bends that he does. So the whole thing is formed perfectly in the shape and all, and I don't know how he does it. Something
Looks-
that
looks really nice.
I've never
Looks
mastered
really
that
nice.
yet.
So for those who haven't seen the NSX, Rich has taken to several of our shows out there, and it's one of a kind car to go and look at it. I just tried on. He just bought another NSX. Yep, now so he has 3. So I said, hey, I never sit on an NSX.
I
Let
have
me
4.
4,
Yeah, one's crashed though, so it's like 3.5.
3.5, yeah, 3.5. So, but anyway, so I'm out there and I said, hey, I never sit on an NSX. Can I sit on it? It's like jump in. So I get halfway in there. And
You
I'm
should have
like,
seen him. He could barely get in there.
how do I get on
Look
the
at a
half
video.
inside?
If you get me on Snapchat, go check it out.
So,
Fast Times
yeah,
509 on
um,
Snapchat. You'll see us here trying to get into one. It's
Like
like,
crawling in.
that is gonna go viral.
It's pretty good.
that NXS car, I mean, especially the one he has with all the goodies and stuff like that, it's one of a kind. Whenever he takes it to race wars a lot, so if you take it up to this one, we're not sure it was, especially with your schedule. But are you going to be in the race wars by any chance?
So
September?
I'll be there for sure. I don't think the NSX will be there.
So
It's hard to get both cars there.
yeah. So if the NSX make it, definitely stop by. If not, then Rich will be there. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, any that you want to
Yeah.
ask him.
Wanna build something fast?
From the small conversation we have had, you guys probably get a good glimpse of like he's really not a bolt-on guy. I mean, he does it. He does it all. And especially when you come to the Honda scene, Rich is a guy to go to get
You
any
guys are-
custom work. I mean,
If you guys are nearby, make sure to come by his shop. You know, check it
come
out.
check it out. I mean, we have lots of parts
Lots
for
of
sale.
parts in stock. You know.
If you need help with anything, and even just talking about builds and whatever else, be happy to help with it.
Looking at
So, very, very cool trip that we took out here. Anything else about you, Rich? Anything else that we forgot or you want to mention out there?
No, I hope we get some more racing to come in because it'd be really nice to go racing again. And I'm looking forward to the next race wars. 'Cause
Yeah.
I thought we were done. I didn't even realize there was another one.
Yeah,
They showed up and told me
Okay.
there's another race wars coming,
He's
and
like,
I
"Oh,
had
it's
no
another race
idea
wars?"
there was another one. I thought the season was
Hey,
over.
who's doing that marketing?
no.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna get fired.
I think you do need a market because I haven't seen it on any of my posts or any of my anything.
Well, the reason we're doing this to kind of kick it off. I mean, we had it on the books, but with all the stuff going on, it's really hard to events to come through. So we've had it on the books. We haven't done a whole lot of
Trying to
notes
keep
of
it a little more low key till the end.
Yeah, but like I
Yeah,
said,
we should wait like a month. Like like flyers should be coming out here by the end of the week. Then you start seeing more flyers. So you're gonna start seeing more of it.
It's good.
People signing up usually start by the beginning of September.
Yep.
So they signed up. This car signed up. This car signed up.
And
then
yeah,
it's gonna blow up.
after
And
after
we're still
the-
not supposed to have spectators, right?
We're doing admission only this time as well, like last time.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
last time
Members
it worked out pretty
admission,
good.
yeah.
But yeah, this whole COVID thing, I'm really over it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very tough on a business like ours and then things that it's really tough. I
And
mean,
entertainment.
overall in the entertainment area, it's really
So
difficult.
if we went to the last one's gonna be the same thing. Just we have admission, crew members, racers, all good. Come over. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. I mean,
Especially
if your
masks.
crew, if you need like 50 people in your crew, it's okay.
Well, you probably better have one badass car, so we'll take it.
Funny car.
Yeah.
Top fuel.
Yeah, guys. Well, thank you very much for checking it out today. Thanks for watching. Thank you to Rich for hosting us here. It's a really, really
Thanks,
busy
guys.
man.
Oh, yeah.
We showed up. He's like, "Oh, I thought it was tomorrow."
I did. I really thought it was tomorrow. I was getting ready to leave, and they're like, "Hey, we're here." I'm like,
Oh,
"I thought it was Wednesday."
Yeah, we saw we can't come back twice. So
Yeah, it's a little bit of a drive for us. Not that much, but it's pretty good. So just wanna thank you for having us over here. Like I say, if you have a chance, come stop by his shop, check it out. Give him a call for any builds, any questions you guys have. Totally recommend it. So Rich is like really cool to talk to work with. So.
yeah, easy get to work with.
So we'll see you guys on the next show. I don't know when the next show is gonna be, but I'm sure we're gonna have another seat time before we do
We'll have another
race
seat
wars.
time before race wars. So, and like I said, the show is gonna be up. The race is gonna be up. Keep in mind, this might be the last show, the last race that you'll be able to attend. So,
Number
come
one, because
over,
winter's coming, and number two, because it's really hard to have any car shows or races right now.
Well, at least we got one more to go to. So yeah, be there.
and if weather permits, I mean, we're one of the best weathers around. So you can't be jacking up for weather.
No, weather's great.
Yeah.
That wasn't a while. You're gonna
Unless you have a windstorm.
Yeah, it wasn't a while. That's
Okay,
cool.
so a table flew into my race car and freaking smashed the side of it in. I still gotta fix it.
So make sure to tie your canopies and everything.
Yeah,
down to
secure
something.
your load. And by the way, it was after the race. Somehow the weather
Yeah, it was
gods
a crazy storm.
permitted to
It
race
was it was right after the race, and I got really lucky because I have that huge tent, that big Richtuned tent. It's like a $2,500 tent, and it started swaying a little bit. I'm like, I should put that away, right? So the guys helped me. We put it all away. 5 minutes later,
It was crazy.
everybody's tents are like flying away. They were a mile down, flying away.
We were sitting out there too. We're like, it's coming. Like, nah, we're cool. We're
Yeah,
cool.
I keep telling them, let's pick up because I left because I told them,
Wait,
hey,
wait,
are we
yeah.
gonna pick up or not? And they're sitting down and like
Oh,
later. I'm
We
like,
went
all
to
right, I'm
Miners.
out.
We went to
Yeah.
Miners
Sure
during the
enough,
storm.
how many tents did we lost that day? 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost 2
Everybody's
tents.
tents were destroyed. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like it was the worst windstorm I think I've ever been in.
But it didn't last a whole
Only
day.
like 5-10 minutes, and then it was gone.
Yeah,
but
it
it
was-
was an intense 10 minutes.
It
Yeah.
had trees
Yeah.
over.
Oh, I'm sure it
We didn't
did.
even stay at the hotel because we didn't have power.
There was semis that I guess flipped over on the interstate.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Hit up Richtuned for any Honda needs or any automobile needs you have.
Thanks, guys.
And then we'll talk to you guys later.
Matt says I love Rich.
Love you too, buddy.
Yeah, we already know that.